What if I told you that simply changing your last name after marriage could put your right to vote at risk? That's exactly what could happen under the new SAVE Act, H.R. 22. This bill claims to be about election security, but in reality, it creates unnecessary hurdles that could disenfranchise millions of eligible voters, especially married women, working class citizens, and communities of color. Here's how it works. The SAVE Act would require proof of citizenship every single time someone registers to vote or updates their registration. But for millions of married women, like myself, who take their spouse's last name, their birth certificate no longer matches their legal name. So now, in addition to a birth certificate, they might also need a marriage certificate, a court order, or even multiple forms of ID just to prove they are who they say they are. How many people carry around all these documents just to exercise a constitutional right? And let's talk about accessibility. Not everyone has a passport, and replacing lost documents isn't cheap or easy. Some states charge up to $50 for a birth certificate replacement and even more for legal name change records. This puts an unfair burden on working class Americans, single parents, and elderly voters who may struggle to track down or afford the necessary paperwork. And for women who have been married more than once, the process becomes even more complicated. This is not about protecting elections. It's about making it harder to vote. The Brennan Center for Justice calls this bill one of the most restrictive voting proposals in recent history because it disproportionately impacts women, low-income Americans, and people who may not have easy access to their citizenship documents. It's voter suppression disguised as election security. So let's be real. Should changing your last name, losing a document, or not having a passport stop you from voting? Or is this just another way to make it harder for certain people to cast a ballot?